Hi Soapy friends, Kandra here. Welcome to Wet Soap Wednesday. Today we are going to prove or disprove a theory or an occurrence, I should say, that was reported over in the Facebook group. There was a soap maker who was asking, does anyone have any issues with Alkanet bleeding? What she meant by that was when she creates a soap with Alkanet infused oil as part of a swirl, so the batch is split, half of it white, half of it Alkanet, and she swirls it together. She reports the Alkanet bleeding into the white in the bars. She also reported it with a few other colorants, and one of them, I think it might have been rhubarb, she showed a picture of it completely taking over the entire bar of soap. I have not had that happen, but I thought let's test it for sure, because as I'm thinking of all the soaps I've made and looking through pictures, all of my Alkanet swirls had other colors with them. So I'm not sure if I have ever done Alkanet swirled with uncolored soap. So why not do it? Let me go ahead and flip over and let you see what I have set up. So this is the mold we're going to be using. It's a Chris Howells mold. It is just standard, about, I think that's what, 2-pound mold. I already have my sodium hydroxide solution set up. I have my oil splits. So this is the colorant. I have infused oil and I have uninfused oil. And then here I have my base oils. So what I did, and this is outlined in the tutorial for multicolor batch splitting, I use the worksheet here for the infused oil colorant splitting batches cheat sheet. And what it allows me to do is calculate all of my oils, how much of it is infused, do a little bit of math, which is all explained here, so you don't have to think about it. And then down at the bottom here, you calculate how many color splits you're doing, how much of your base oil should be in all those splits, how much of your infused oils you're using, and how much to pour into each container. So this is a great worksheet that makes it so that you don't have to do any math thinking while you're soaping, which I think is a bonus. So I'm going to set some of these aside to clear our table off, and let's get started making some soap. First step is we're going to take our sodium hydroxide and our base oils, and I'm just going to bring this to an emulsion. Giving this just a stir to incorporate. Burping the stick blender. And let's give this a couple blitzes. Okay, now that we're at a nice emulsion, I'm just going to look at my worksheet here, and I know in order to split what I have in here into equal portions, I'm looking at 550 grams. So that's all I need to do is measure 555 into each of these, and then we can blend up our colors. Keep an eye on this one. The color will change as I'm measuring. All right, we have our two equally portioned out colorants, or batters with colors, in this case no color, so our white. I'm going to bring these to a trace now. If you notice, I am mixing up the white first so that my stick blender isn't contaminated with the colorant of our other split here. And there we go. Did you see our color change into that blue? It's so thick and so dark. I know it's very hard to see on camera. But if you have not made soap with Alkanet root, please do. It is the most amazing magic trick ever. Love it. We just went from our maroon to our lovely blues. That means we will definitely get a gorgeous purple out of this colorant. All right, bringing this to a trace as well. Just look at that lovely blue. All right, I'm just going to check the consistency of each, make sure they are the same. Feels about right. So I'm going to be doing just a basic Taiwan swirl. I have the mold divided into two. I'm just using cardboard from a shipping box that I had. We'll pour colors down each side, swirl it, and then once cut, we are going to let this soap sit around for at least a month, and we're going to see if it bleeds. All right, let's get these poured. Before we pour, let's see if we can't get a good look at this blue for you. It is, as you know, I mean, I am obsessed with the color change from Alkanet, and it is so beautiful. One of my favorite chemical reactions ever. The blue that we're seeing here is from a pH shift, because Alkanet is a pH indicator. It is that lovely mauve we started out with at a lower pH, and as the pH rises, it goes from mauve to purple to blue. So as our soap, which is blue now, very high pH, as it saponifies and then cures, it will settle down to a purple, which is what Alkanet indicates the pH right around 8 to be. All right, let's go ahead and pour and swirl. All right, with my trusty chopstick, just going to make some figure eights or infinities. All right, there we go, all swirled up. Now we just have to wait for saponification and then the cut. I'm excited. See you soon. Hi soapy friends, Kendra here with our first update on these soaps. I did cut these about a week and a half ago, and I did not do that on video, but just to give you an idea of what I did, the first thing I did was I sliced them horizontally. So I ended up with 2 slices, and then I just chopped those into individual bars. So this was the top and these are the sides. And I don't have them lined up perfectly, but that would have been the side. Sliced it in half and then just chopped into bars. So what we're going to do with these is keep an eye on them and see if we have any bleeding of the Alkanet into our white. Probably, let's pick this bar because there's lots of white in here. And what I assume was being reported was the Alkanet bleeding into the white. So creating some sort of a halo effect, something like that, where our white is no longer white. In this case, my color is more of a cream or ivory color, and I will be doing the rest of the updates on these with some timestamps for you under some color corrected lighting, so we'll have some photos slide through from here on out for these. All right, so these are our Alkanet and lavender soaps. I think they came out great. They smell great, and we'll keep an eye on them and see if any of the color kind of bleeds or morphs on them over the probably about the next month or so. Hi soapy friends, these are the soaps just after the video you saw. So they're cut and 1 week old. I'm not seeing any haloing, neither at 2 weeks old Here we are again at 4 weeks old, and then finally at 10 weeks old. As you can see from the photos, I did not experience any haloing. None of the Alkanet bled into the white portion of the soap. I still have the same crispness of lines that we did at 1 week or right when they were cut. So yeah, I really don't know what was causing that haloing or bleeding effect of Alkanet with that other soap maker. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I just don't. The only thing I could guess is maybe it was something to do with some of the oils or some other additive, or maybe possibly it could have been the type of Alkanet root. I'm using my Alkanet root from AnneGeorges.com. It's Alkanet tinctoria. I did go over that in more detail in the Anti-Alkanet and Alkanet masterclass over at soapyfriends.com. For the recipe, it's really just my basic recipe. It's my go-to vegan palm-free recipe that's also available up at the website. So if, yeah, maybe it's an additive. I don't know. It's a little confounding for me. I do hope that maybe one of you out there, all of my dear soapy friends, has experienced a color morph like this. So one color bleeding into another section of your soap. If so, please share any details you can, and maybe we can solve a mystery and see what causes some botanicals to bleed. Yeah, okay, thanks for soaping with me today, soapy friends, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the cut at the end of our Wet Soap Wednesday. That's one benefit to doing them pre-recorded. Next week, I'll see you live over at the Facebook group. Happy soaping!